Periscope is a special and highly differentiated view of market maker positioning and Greek exposure in SPX from unusual whales, and the Periscope plots are significantly more accurate than our other models, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as we actually review our outputs. It is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025 at about 4:30 Chicago time, which means the market is closed, the futures market is closed. There's no action right now, but that's okay. This is more of a highlight reel. We don't need to see live position changes happening during this video. I think you'll be able to get the gist from our quick review. So let's go ahead and get started by clicking on flow data and making our way down to market exposure under the Periscope heading. There are 3 plots on this screen that we're going to review in depth. The market maker positions in the bottom left corner shows you the net market maker position in terms of calls or puts, long or short. And this allows you to toggle between different expirations or view the net position across all expirations by selecting all. The market maker exposures extended view is a taller version of what we're going to talk about up here. So you have a little bit more range to look at for the Greek of interest. You can toggle between gamma, vana, or charm. And once again, you can select the expiration that's of most interest, or you can look at all of them at once by clicking on all. We're going to spend most of our time in this session, though, talking about the market maker exposures plot at the top of the screen. So you can see on the left side here, this is a candle price chart of SPX. This data is streaming live during the day, so you're seeing the SPX price move in real time. And over here on the right, what you have are Greek exposure bars. I have it set to the all expiry right now, and I have it also set to gamma, which is where we're going to spend most of the conversation here. The negative gamma zones, the clusters around certain strikes, they're going to show up as red, and they're going to extend to the left, and the positive gamma clusters around different strikes are going to show up to the right, and they're going to show up in green. Now, before we go any further, I want to point out that on each strike you have this white dot, and what that shows you is the position of that bar on that strike from the last time slice. So this white dot right here is from 240 to 250, and then the red bar is the 250 to 3 o'clock final observation here. So even when you're not looking at a historical period, you're still able to get a quick view of what happened on this bar in the 10 minutes previous to this particular 10-minute slice that we're on right now. So a quick review of negative net market maker Greek exposure, in this case is gamma, versus positive net market maker Greek exposure. In a negative gamma region, this model predicts that the market maker needs to delta hedge in the direction of price. So if price is going down into a negative gamma exposure cluster here around these strikes, the model expects that the market maker is going to need to, let's say, sell into that weakness if price is going down, or if price is rallying into that area, then the market maker is going to have to buy into that strength. And these negative gamma exposure bars are potentially going to show you areas where you might see price expanding kind of quickly. The candles will be larger in those areas. And in contrast, these positive gamma exposure bars are where the market maker hedging activity is going to be the opposite. So the market maker is buying into price weakness and selling into price strength, and that is potentially going to give you a smaller range and smaller candles in those areas. Now, what might be really interesting for anyone analyzing this data and watching it unfold throughout the day in 10-minute increments is the ability to rewind and do some analysis on the state of market maker net gamma or charm or vana exposure during earlier slices of time during the day. So let's go back. We can see that the market bottomed somewhere here between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Chicago time. So why don't I go to, let's say, 10:30 to 10:40. We'll click close here, get a closer look. So we can see that the price was in between 57.45 and 57.50, let's say, which was an area of positive gamma exposure. And this price looks pretty accurate, right? The range of the bars is kind of small. There wasn't a lot of price movement here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this next time slice, and I'm just going to leave this up here for a second because I might bounce between different slices. You could see as time was going on, the price range was relatively suppressed as the market maker hedging behavior was buying dips and selling rips. And then around 10:50 here, during this time slice, we saw some news come out, and as price rallied, it got into this area of negative gamma exposure. And you can see that all of a sudden now market maker hedging activity was trading into the direction of price. So you can see that these green bars got a lot taller. These are probably 10 or 15 point candles, maybe let's just say like 10 to 12. And it's a different look than the tighter range we saw inside the positive gamma local area where market maker hedging was resisting larger price moves. And so you can do a similar analysis by looking at different Greeks during this time. If you want to look at Charm or Vanna, you can do so by toggling between those. And if you want to see where the most pronounced gamma and charm effects are going to be, you can click on the 0 day, because these contracts are going to expire today, so they're going to have the most pronounced charm and gamma effects. So if you have any questions about how to interpret what you're seeing on the Periscope chart, you can search Periscope, and we have an FAQ about the Periscope tools. We have a more in-depth article about net gamma exposure, and we will have a more in-depth review of net charm exposure as well. But if you go through these articles and you can't find the answer to your question, feel free to chime in the questions channel of the Unusual Whales Discord.